Break 80 faithful. We're joined by a very talented, down to earth, easy to root for kind of guy who has some tremendous golf to be played ahead of him. No, it's not Scotty Scheffler, but darn close. He's from Texas. Korn Ferry's Cooper Dossey is joining the pod this week. Cooper, thanks for hopping on the Break 80 podcast. How is life, a man?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate this. Everything's good in Sarasota this week, and yeah, excited to be on.
You guys have been off for a while, right?
Yeah, we had the South American swing, and then we had 4 weeks off, and then played Savannah, and then we had last week off, and now we get going.
Yeah.
Well, I got to start with your take on the Masters. Did you watch a little bit of it since you had a little downtime there? And what was your takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, I watched basically every second of it. It was great, man. I mean, I'm a big Scotty guy. I'm from Texas. I grew up playing against Scotty in junior golf, and I played against Scotty in high school, and I've gotten to know Scotty um, and his family, and um, it's so cool to see a guy that's everybody can root for, and it's also fun to see a guy that's really dang good at golf. I mean, what he's doing is unbelievable, to be honest. Some of the shots, I mean, the shot into nine yesterday, the shot on 13 yesterday, 14 going for it on fit. I mean, he's doing Tiger things. Everybody said that recently, but he really is, and it was fun to watch. I mean, I think this weekend the players were two tournaments that have been pretty sweet so far to watch. So yeah, I definitely watched all of it, and I'm really happy to see Scotty have all the success that he's having.
So what's your take when you watch that? You know, you play golf probably a little bit more detail than Mike and I do. I mean, we're not bad
You,
players, but like when
you,
you watch
you
something
think?
like that, when you watch something like that, it just seems like it all comes down to just small details. You know, missing a shelf, hitting a shelf versus not hitting a shelf. When you watch golf and at the level that you are capable of playing at, what are some things that maybe you're noticing that maybe the regular golfer's not?
I would say that, I'm a golf geek. So yeah, I watch golf because I like it. I also watch it to learn. There's a lot of things that a lot of guys do better than me. And that's okay to admit that. I think that I can only get better from my peers. And it's really hard not to get better watching Scotty. I think, one thing that's um, so crazy about his game is his distance control, and the pride he takes in that. I know, he's talked about it in press conferences, but that's the main focus that him and Randy work on, is distances, and him being able to have Randy spit a number out and him hit it exactly. So just kind of watching that's pretty fun to watch. But I was actually watching it. I was on a plane from Dallas to here, sitting next to Grant Hirschman, who played at OU. He plays out here, and we were both watching it on our iPads, and there were probably 6 or 7 times where we looked at each other and just shook our head. We had our headphones in, we weren't saying anything, but just shook our head. Just stupid good golf being played, and not just from Scotty, but from Ludwig. I played against Ludwig in college, and what he's doing is crazy. I mean, that kid's a stud, and I root hard for Max Homa. I love his interviews. I love to watch the press conferences. That's where I kind of learned the most. But I think he has a good view of how he approaches golf, and yeah, it's just awesome. I love golf, so it's pretty sweet.
And Homa's got to be a real inspirational guy for all the Korn Ferry players, right? Because he kind of bounced around for a while when early on, lost his tour card a couple of times, went back to Korn Ferry, and now he's top 10 in the world.
Yeah, I think he's a testament to how hard getting there is, and not just getting there but staying there, right? I mean, he got there and lost it, and I think that kind of gets lost in the media. There's a lot of guys that are succeeding at a high level that have really cool stories. I play a lot back home with Zalatoris, or at least me and him are at the same course, and he had an interesting route to the tour, and I think the guys like Jordan Spieth are kind of an exception, not the rule. It takes a lot of work to get there. A ton of things have to go your way, um, and then once you get there, it's not easy to go on a run that Scotty's on or Max is on or all these guys. So I mean, it's just a testament to one, how hard it is, but two, how deep every tour is. I mean, the Korn Ferry Tour, there's so much talent out here, and even in Canada, I've been in Canada the last 2 years, and there's a lot of good players up there too. So it's hard, man. But yeah, I'm just to answer your question, Max is definitely an inspiration for all of us.
Before we get away from the Masters a little bit, I'm going to try to make this connection. The Masters is that style of golf course where you got lots of shave down, not any rough really to be dealt with, short game wise. As we all know, one of the next majors coming up is Pinehurst, and I saw that you had a fairly amount of success there once upon a time, at Pinehurst playing number two. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Is there a way that we can get you in to the U.S. Open this year to see if you can rehash some magic?
Longest day in golf, he can do it. Local
Come
qualifier.
on,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
go.
I've got to go to locals first, but I actually wasn't planning on doing it because with our schedule, it's just difficult to get a local in and then do sectionals. But I as soon as I saw it was Pinehurst, I had to do it. That's one of my top 5 courses. I think it's I love to be creative on the golf course. I'd say that I'm not like a TrackMan golfer. I don't hit it dead straight. I enjoy curving it, and I love being in tough spots around the green. I don't like putting myself there, but I see it as it's a fun opportunity, and I think Pinehurst is one of those courses where you have to be uber creative, and you got to be an artist and super disciplined, and it just somehow it suits my game well, and I've had a lot of success there, and it's an awesome place, a lot of good history there. But yeah, I would kill to tee it up in the US Open there this year.
Yeah,
Tell us.
Korn Ferry Tour schedule is kind of rough on you guys, isn't it? Like I've always contested on here that let's say some PGA Tour event calls up Cooper Dossey and says, "Hey, we want to give you a sponsors exemption." You have to kind of weigh whether or not you miss a Korn Ferry event, right? Because I've always said you should get, if you go to a PGA Tour event, you should get points on your Korn Ferry like money list from the PGA Tour. That's kind of bullshit that you have to give up a week, which could be critical, on the points just to go play on a PGA Tour, which is your ultimate goal anyway.
Yeah, 2 of my really good buddies are Parker and Pearson Cootie, and last year Parker top 25 in Kansas City and forfeited his exemption at the Colonial to go, keep playing Korn Ferry events. And I think the best route for us is to get on the PGA Tour is through the Korn Ferry. And through my conversations with Parker and Pearson, it's not really worth it for me to go chase PGA Mondays in the off weeks, or obviously I'd love to play the Byron Nelson this year if that was an opportunity I would take it immediately because it's during an off week. But it is crazy to think that there are guys that don't want to skip a Korn Ferry event to go play on the PGA Tour. But that's just how it is, and they've given us 26 opportunities every year to get a tour card, and I just, after watching Parker's discipline through that process last year and actually getting his tour card and seeing how amazing it was pretty cool as a friend to see that. And that's kind of where my focus is on the Korn Ferry this year.
Makes sense. Well, I was going to ask Mr. Monday Q, be aware of who he is. We had him on the podcast not too long ago, and he gave us a few names, that maybe the golf world hasn't, come to know yet. And you happen to be one of those names. And before we dive into more of your golf story, you've been open about having a stutter. And is that something that has always been part of you? Is it something that you developed recently? Tell us a story about that and how you've really come to embrace it. It just seems like your attitude towards it is one of a positive, and you kind of have a great outlook on, something that a lot of people deal with, especially in front of cameras. And, I, even doing a podcast at times, find myself tripping over words. So tell us a little about that.
Yeah, I developed a stutter in 5th grade. From the research that I've done, I was a communications major actually, which is kind of funny, in college, and most of my speeches were on stuttering because when I talk about it, it really does help me. But from all the research that I've done, it's either you're born with it or it's like developed through high stress situations. And I mean, nothing crazy happened, but after 4th grade, we moved to a new school in Austin, and it was only 30 minutes down the road. But that's kind of the age where you're about to get to middle school, and I lost all my friends that I was going to school with, and I think that's where it started really, and it got pretty bad in middle school. And I tried to go to group therapy with it or just therapy in general, but it kind of made it worse, made me embarrassed by it. I think the best therapy that I've had is to own it, to laugh at it, to allow others to laugh at it, whether it's with me or at me. And I don't want it to leave. It's definitely gotten more mild. You probably won't hear it on the podcast. I hope not, or I don't hope not, but I don't want to say that and then you hear it. It's definitely more mild. And I guess when I started to own it, was probably more college, I'd say. Um, I made my gamer tag I saw I posted that. I made my gamer tag on Xbox, Stutter King 18. And it was more of a joke. I couldn't figure out what to make my gamer tag. That's when Fortnite was really big and all my buddies were playing. And yeah, so that's what I came with. And then recently I've gotten into the YouTube industry, and I love watching YouTube. I love watching all that stuff. And I decided to make a podcast called The Stutter Putter. And I think it was like this time last year, and I haven't done any episodes really since, but I'm going to get it back and going here soon. But yeah, I think just a part of who I am is honestly the answer. It's just it's never going to leave. I was given it for a reason, and there are definitely people out there that stutter way worse than me. But I hope that I can bring light to people that um, at least one person that has a struggle of stuttering.
What's the wedge stories? You stamped I don't know if you still have that on your wedges, but you had, on that video, that clip that I shared, it says that you kind of named each of your wedge after a stutter story that you had, and it says you say it typically happens at restaurants or something like that.
Yeah. I switched to Ping my freshman year of college, and I got this blade that says Stutter King on it, on like the back of it, and just thought it would be funny, and it's kind of stuck. All my putters I've ever received from Ping have had it on it.
Nice.
But my junior year of college, they started doing laser stamping or whatever, and I don't have it right now because they just got new wedges and they didn't have time to do it, I guess. But basically, every word I had on my wedges was an order I struggle on it at restaurants. Root beer. I was in middle school. My grandpa took me to the World Golf Hall of Fame. I said, "Can I?" I told the waitress, "Can I get a root beer?" And the waitress responded with, "Yes." I was young. I was young too. That's a tough one.
Yeah, geez.
And then the Caesar salad and the filet. We went to like a steakhouse in college every event, like one time a week. And I have a buddy who caddies for Taylor Phillips on tour. His name is Braden Bailey. He played at Baylor with me, great golfer too, but he's just been caddying. Anyways, he sat next to me perfectly to when he could order after me. And for some reason, every time we went to a steakhouse, I'd stutter and he would lose his mind. He would laugh so hard that both of us would end up not being able to order very well. And then vanilla shake. I didn't say it in the video, but my pinned tweet on my Twitter is me ordering milkshakes at In-N-Out in college when I was a freshman, and a senior on our team, Jackson Hazel, took a video of me. I think it was like in hopes I was going to stutter, and I didn't stutter, and I did, like, I guess back then the dab was like doing that was crazy, and
Yeah.
I celebrated by doing that. But yeah, those are the stories, and I just thought it'd be I don't know. I like making people laugh, and yeah, that's just a part of how I do it.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, we talk about stories, and that's where obviously you're a very talented golfer, but anytime that there's more depth to a person, and that our listeners and everybody else can learn about that, it only makes you want to root for them more. So appreciate you sharing that. We want to dive into a little bit of your golf, and you grew up in Texas, very wide known as one of the hotbeds of golf. You've already mentioned that you've played with some of the best or against some of the best in the world. You were a Baylor Bear that went to Baylor, but you grew up in Austin, which seems to me like Mike and I, we're big Minnesota Gopher fans. It'd be like a Gopher going to Wisconsin, a
Yeah,
Badger.
like is Texas the big rival for every other Texas school? Everybody wants to beat Texas. Is that kind of how it works down there?
I hate Texas, man. I hate Texas. I love my buddies that went there, but I hate Texas.
So why is it? Isn't Austin, Texas? Isn't that where Texas is?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is funny. I also was a member, or my parents were a member growing up at a UT Golf Club where they practice too. A lot of burnt orange there.
So what happened?
Um,
They slighted you, huh?
no, I've grown up, I've bled green and gold since I was born. And my mom went to high school in Austin. My dad's from Houston. And they moved to Austin for my dad's work. And yeah, we grew up loving Baylor. I've had 45 people in my family, maybe more now with my cousins, that have gone to Baylor. And even more crazy enough, I actually committed to A&M when I was in ninth grade. Um, Not because I didn't want to go to Baylor, but I just didn't really the golfing at Baylor at that time when I was in high school, like there wasn't much hope for the future in regards to practice facilities and maybe who they, just it just didn't fit what I was wanting in a college. And I still wanted to go to Baylor, but yeah, my mom kind of bugged me for a long time about maybe we should go check it out again. And then Coach McGraw left Oklahoma State, went to Baylor my junior year of high school, and there were about 6 months where I was just like, I need to go check it out. But and golf decommitting is rare. It's you kind of you commit and then you're loyal to that university. But I had this gut feeling that I needed to go look, and Coach Higgins at A&M was allowed me to go on a visit to Baylor just to check it out. And as soon as I stepped on campus with McGraw, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to go here. This is my dream school. This is what I grew up watching, RG3 and Tweedy, or yeah, Lace Darius Dunn and all these different. I mean, we went to the Elite Eight when we played Duke, and I think it was '08. I don't know. I've just always bled green and gold, and yeah, I signed with Baylor, and yeah, it's probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
I know why he did the Texas A&M. It's the Money Manziel effect. It was the Johnny
Yeah.
Manziel. Drew him in.
Yeah, I actually got to go to the first game at Kyle Field, the first SEC game. It was Manziel versus no, never mind. It was Kyler Murray versus Dak Prescott. But I did watch Manziel play Bama before they got the new stadium.
So as a Texas guy, are you a big like playing in the wind guy? That's like a big talk with Texas golfers. They can play in the wind, and we saw Scotty be able to do that on Saturday as well. So a couple other Texas guys. Is that something that's a real thing, or is that kind of more blown out of proportion?
Very real. We all grew up playing in 30 miles per hour winds, and you just kind of adjust to it as you're growing up. I mean, I can hit it low, I can hit it high, I like to curb it with it. I love the wind. I actually had an argument with my buddy Blaine Hale, who got his tour card through Q School, and he was saying, "Would you rather play in the rain or the wind?" And I'm wind all day. I don't like umbrellas and the weight, all that stuff. And he was saying rain, and I just thought it was crazy because he's from Texas and played at OU, where I think it probably is even more windy in Norman. But yeah, I'm a big wind guy. If the forecast has the wind emoji, I'm waking up with a smile.
Well, we are a kind of, Mike and I are stationed here in Minnesota. It sounds like you were up here last summer. Is that true? You up in Brainerd?
Yeah, I was up in Brainerd the last 2 years.
So the CRMC. So we actually were out there. We were there. What day were we there, Mike? Sunday, Saturday?
Yeah, I can't
So
remember if we
final day.
played because we
Final
went and
day.
played a bunch everywhere.
Final day. So we must have just missed you. But tell us about your little experience at the CRMC. You talked about the Canadian tour. We are actually I'll be playing that course that you just played here in like maybe 2 weeks or so. That Craigens, and
Hmm.
I actually talked a little bit with Ryan Sharp. He was your caddy, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So he
yeah,
falls break 80, and tell us a little about that week.
yeah. I would say probably one of the best stops we had on the Canadian circuit because we were back in the States. Um, yeah, I mean the golf course was awesome. I mean, I really enjoyed the route that we played last year. Um, I can't tell you what nines they were, but they were awesome. The course was always in great shape. Got to go on the lake, go eat at, I don't remember what it was called, was on the lake.
Zorbas?
Uh,
Zorba's, I bet.
Zorba's,
Yeah.
Yes.
Zorba's. And yeah, and Ryan caddied for me. Ryan actually caddied for me through Q school last year and helped, and he was a instrumental in helping me get my Korn Ferry card. We worked great together last year through Q school, and then he caddied for me in the Bahamas and Panama. And sadly, it didn't work out between us, but he's a great guy and his family's awesome. And was really fortunate to meet him. He caddied for Parker Cootie the year before, and that's how we got connected. And but that tournament was awesome. I don't think I played great there, golf wise, but had a lot of fun. Great spot, and that's the only tournament my wife came on the Canadian circuit. So we really enjoyed Brainerd, and great spot. Really, I mean, there's a ton of good golf there too. Not just I didn't get to play the other courses, but Ryan was telling me about all the other great courses there. But yeah, great spot, and definitely one of my favorites that I got to play on the Canada tour.
I have a good question about favorite courses to play. So you were an alternate on the 2021 Walker Cup team, correct?
Yes.
So you got to play some of the practice rounds and everything at Seminole.
Hmm.
That place is insane, huh?
Yeah, I mean that. I mean, great property. I think what Jimmy Dunn's done for golf is awesome, and what he's done at Seminole is great. Um, I'd say that sneaky unfair that week for the guys. I didn't get to play; I got to watch, and I think as a spectator, firm, fast. I mean, I watched 17 first two matches, or I don't know how to say that. The first day and the second day. So the on Friday and then the morning on Saturday. Doesn't matter. Anyways, I watched about 18 to 20 guys miss that green. I think one guy hit the green or something crazy. Great golf course. I was really fortunate to be on that team, and I think I cried harder than all those guys did when we won. But yeah, that's a pretty sweet area.
And you, if I remember right, you almost were gonna play. Like, weren't a bunch of guys sick or something? Like food
Yeah,
poisoning or illness, something went through there?
yeah. Funny story that Friday in the official practice round when everybody's able to come watch us, we had five. No, we had six guys play out of 12. Six guys were crapping their pants, throwing up. It was bad. But I got paired with Ricky Castillo. We were practicing alternate shot because that was the first match. I think we shot like 5 under alternate shot,
Oh
Seminole in the
man.
practice round. The captain told me to call my parents. You might be teeing off tomorrow, and they flew up. I didn't get to play because I told Mac Meisner, I was the second alternate. Mac was the first. I said, if you're feeling better tomorrow, dude, you're teeing it up. Like you deserve this. And he felt better, and he actually got a point for the team. It was pretty cool. But that was top five best moments of my golfing career. It's a lot of guys I played against in college, and a lot of them were my friends, like really good buddies from junior golf, and pretty cool when you all get to come. I mean, you see it on the Ryder Cup and President's Cup. All those guys talk about that, but when you get to come alongside each other and not and like you want each other to succeed is pretty fun.
Yeah, I can see how team golf is just, it's like you guys play so much individual golf throughout a year. It's like just getting a refreshment of getting to do an opportunity with somebody is always what people actually, that not only the players talk about it, but like they're always trying to find events that can be something from the mundane stroke play, 72 hole stroke play. How can we make things? And I think every time they bring that up, it sounds like the players are always for it, just because taking a break from the norm is kind of refreshing for some people.
Yeah, I mean, all of us love watching other sports. I mean, I'm a big hockey guy. Watch Stars a lot. Watch the Mavs a lot. Love college basketball. Watch every game March Madness, and I think that um, the best part about those sports is the team aspect, and we don't see it at all in our sport really. And I think college for me was a dream. I remember growing up, I wanted to play college golf really badly. Obviously, I want to play in the PGA Tour, but college golf, just I grew up at uh, UT Golf Club and got to watch, Ricky Fowler and have the Oklahoma State gear on, and Jamie Lovemark have the USC gear on, and Bobby Hudson played for Texas, Speed played for Texas, and so I got to see it in my backyard, and it's always a goal of mine to play college golf, and best 5 years of my life. But yeah, I'd say team golf is something that everybody loves because it comes in such a temporary time that you kind of look back and take it for granted.
Are there a lot of people down there that are big fans of those traitorous stars, Dallas Stars, who left their home, left real hockey country?
Y'all have Kaprizov, you're fine.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we had the North Stars with the coolest uniforms in the league, with the coolest colors, and now we got shitty looking jerseys.
I guess my only argument is I got into hockey 3 years ago, so
Yeah, we're
I don't know much about the North Stars.
Jeff and I are basketball guys anyway.
Yeah.
We don't really care about hockey.
Yeah, I'm college basketball is my favorite sport, so I love this year's March Madness.
So you were probably a little worried then when Drew flew into Lexington. He flew to Lexington for the little sit down.
Yeah, I still have a group message with all the guys I was teammates with at Baylor, more specifically Colin Coburn and Ryan Greider, and we text a lot about that stuff, whether it's football, basketball. I mean, we all live and breathe it. But yeah, we were tracking it pretty tightly, and I was sweating bullets. I mean, I grew up watching, Scott Drew and Art Briles, and the success that both programs had growing up, and obviously that stuff happened with Art and everything. But I don't want to just blow it away as bad. But anyways, Scott turned, a terrible basketball team. I mean, they were guys killing each other before he got there, and now
Yeah.
they won a natty, and I think it's going to help our recruiting a lot too. You go to Kentucky, bring your family, and this isn't as good as Baylor, and then come back to Baylor. That's got to
Ah,
speak. That's
I
going to
like
speak
that. I like
volumes.
that take. I like that take.
Well, I
Where
mean, and
It's a good take.
that job rarely comes open. It's probably one of the top three. Kentucky, Duke, and UNC are probably the three best jobs every year. And I know he was in the talks for both UNC and Duke, and now Kentucky. And great, just a great dude, a guy you can root for and get behind. And I've been behind him pretty hard. I love our Baylor basketball team, and yeah, the last couple of years have kind of stunk, but we won a natty a couple of years ago, so I'm super pumped he's back.
where do coaches where do when a recruit comes to Waco? That's where Baylor is, right? Waco.
Yeah,
What
Waco.
where do they go to look at? What's the big draw in Waco besides campus?
Oh, it's the home makeover
Yeah,
country. My wife,
Chip and
my wife
Joanna.
wants to go. My wife
Chip
wants to go to Waco.
Chip and Joanna.
That's probably where they take the girl recruits, but I there it's a funny question. There isn't much draw to Waco, Texas.
Maybe
I
that's a good thing for recruiting. The campus looks even better.
Yeah, I mean, without Baylor, there wouldn't be too much in Waco. Honestly, I think that city kind of backs the university, and um, I mean, golf wise, our practice area on campus is unbelievable. Coach Murgado did an incredible job with that. But I would just say, we don't have like big names in professional sports. I mean, we have a lot of really good players, but we do have a lot of guys in the NFL and in the NBA, and a lot of people that maybe have been on many different teams. But I think that's probably what draws recruits is, and what's sad about that. I can go on a spiel on this, but we're getting these one and done kids now in basketball, and it's so irritating. I grew up, in Austin, and I watched Kevin Durant leave early, and Texas is that school for that. And now we're kind of turning into that. With this year, we had Yves Missy and Jacoby Walter, but yeah, I think it's just we have good coaching, and it's a family. I mean, it's so cliche, but it really is. I mean, every coach down there, um, all the coaches are so close, and all the student athletes kind of have gotten really close since about when I got there. So yeah, I'd say just the draw of being in a family and everybody wanting you to succeed is what Baylor's all about.
Um, to bring this back to golf, I got. It sounds like you have a 58 on your resume. I don't know if that's true or not, but was that on a par three course? How did you pull that off?
Yeah, I had a 4 month span of completely blacking out on the golf course. Basically, my dad caddied for me in first stage of Q school my first Q school in 2021, and we shot 59 the second round of first stage, and that's my favorite that's probably my favorite memory I have on a golf course, just because I got to do it with my dad. And it wasn't easy. It rained a lot that week, and it was playing long and completely blacked out. I mean, the front nine was all you hit it and I hit it to 5 feet, the whole front nine, and the back nine I hooped like 6 30-footers. And then I didn't get through second stage, and then I was playing an APT event in Louisiana and shot 58 the first round. Yeah, I mean, just 2 rounds that I look back and I can tell you all the shots now, but in the moment, there's a lot of guys that talk about like actually blacking out, being in the zone, finding the zone, and how rare it is. And like it is true. The 2 times I've been in the zone, like the hole was massive, and it's something I wish for every day, but sadly haven't found really since.
Well, that's that mental part of golf. Bob Rotella has a couple good books, and how do you tap into basically going unconscious and then, stop your mechanical parts, and kind of parlaying that into one of my last questions. I just want to know, how are you feeling currently, with your game? I'm a big swing thoughts guy. I like to know kind of what are some of your checkpoints on your swing right now, and what do you have going on this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you were to look at my results in the first 7, it would look like I'm struggling. And I mean, I've definitely had points of struggle so far this season. I think that the travel has been different. I played in Canada. I didn't play in South America, and so those first 6 were tough to get that stuff down. And I've been really struggling on the greens. That's been the best part of my game for as long as I can remember, because I didn't hit it far growing up. I just chipped the ball great and I made everything I looked at growing up. And I think I think there's times out here as a rookie that you kind of get caught up in just being out here. Kind of get caught up in, maybe I need to get home and get on the TrackMan more. On the road, I need to be using my quad on every shot. And that's just not who I am. You kind of lose yourself at times, and I am the farthest thing from technical. I'm the farthest thing from equipment tinkering, and kind of got lost in that, I guess. And I put my blade back that I always go back to, but is the blade I use in college, or the backup that I use in college. My other one's just so old, but it's the same putter that I basically used when I shot 58 and my 59. And I guess right now what I'm thinking is just point and shoot. Honestly, I mean, that's just how I play golf. If my caddy wants me to hit it, on this tree, I'm going to start it 20 yards right of that and draw it to that tree, or 20 yards left of that and cut it to that tree. I'm trying to go back to shot shaping. I'm trying to go back to being creative, and really excited with how I'm hitting it now. But yeah, I'd say that for the most part this year, I've hit the ball great, just been struggling on the greens. And I think now that I have the baby back in the bag, it's going to be a good week here in Sarasota.
And then after this week, you get a little home cooking, right? Back to Texas.
Yeah, it's actually the last 2 years I've played the Korn Ferry event in Arlington. And I'm sponsored by the host, and Veritex has been awesome to me. But yeah, I've loved the golf course. Kind of a funky golf course, and fits my game well. And gonna have a lot of family and friends out there. And yeah, I'm super excited to go back home and stay in my own bed.
We want to give a shout out to Veritex. I don't know who this guy is. You know him, but he must love golf because I see so many Veritex like logos on like all these Texas golfers.
Yeah, Mr. Holland's great. We talked about it earlier, but his son Charlie played at Texas, and he was actually my role model growing up. He was just somebody that I got to watch play in their home tournament for 4 years, and he was an incredible golfer, great short game, and he tried to chase it for a while, and then I think he stopped a couple years ago. But yeah, basically his dad helped support a lot of us Dallas guys and Texas guys, and you see it on Scotty's bag and some of our shirts. He just loves golf, big golf guy and big golf bank. And I'm really excited they decided to sponsor me, because as it's great to have a sponsor, but also it's great to have somebody that like believes in you. And it's been great. I've really enjoyed their support.
And well, that's a good question actually for because I mean that's vital for mini tour life, right? You have to almost have sponsors because it's so expensive traveling around comparative to what the purses are.
Yeah, I got married 2 years ago, and you know, our faith is super important to Ashley and me, and I think that's something that we look up to a lot in Scotty and Meredith. And I think, for us, the last 2 years have been hard, man. I think golf can take you to some pretty dark places financially, but God has blessed us even more than what we asked for, and I think the people that support me believe in me, and yes, the money, has helped a lot, but more importantly, when you get people that are handing over their money to you, it's, yeah, like I said, the money's great, but more importantly, they're doing it for a reason, and it's taken a lot of weight off of Ashley and I's shoulders, and yeah, I think just a testament to um, you know our faith in each other as well. But yeah, long span. I got on a spiel there, but yeah, mini tour golf's hard, and I guess I'll end it with that question with when I turned pro, a lot of my buddies were like, "Hey, you're so lucky you get to play golf for a living," and I used to say, like, "You're lucky you have a stable income for a living." I think and yes, I'm so grateful that I get to play golf. I feel so lucky and fortunate, but there are definitely times on the road when, you're missing cuts, and it's kind of hard to block out money, but um, hopefully we can get a tour card this year and take some stress away.
Well, kind of to go off that's, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but listen to Scotty talk. He said playing professional golf is an endlessly not satisfying career. I mean, if you base your results on winning a tournament, you will not be a happy person. And it's so difficult, so rare to do that if that's what you're going to say as your high, and that's the only thing you're going to chase, you're going to have a really hard time being a happy person, So to have that perspective that you have at that young of age is awesome. I want to circle back to one more thing before we close up shop. And you were talking about, kind of losing yourself for a while, of who you are and what game you have. And it seems like a lot of pro golfers go through that. Rory was seeing what Bryson was doing. He wanted to, even though he's the longest player in the world, basically, he wanted to even add 5 to 10 yards. He got out of what he does well. And all
Uh,
these people go through these up and downs.
Tiger changed his swing multiple times because he didn't like the one he had, even though he was killing everybody. It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, so you go through these things, and talking about how you grew up playing, like that's your game. And so finding and staying within who you are and wanting to play the game that got you where you are, and finding that now, I think is going to be beneficial going forward. But yeah, it sounds like you're kind of going through one of those we like to call up and downs of golf, and hopefully you're about to hit that peak.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think what Scotty said, and this is something my grandpa introduced me to golf. My grandpa and my grandma, and Scotty said this last week, but growing up, they always wanted me to realize that golf is what I do. It's not who I am. But golf is also a very individualistic sport, and it's really easy to make golf who you are. And I think Scotty struggles with it too. No, I mean, obviously he's in a really good spot right now, but he's talked about that in the past, how golf, was who he was. And I think I've spoken about that a lot, but it's easy to place your identity in golf, and that's also when I feel my lowest, even when I'm playing well. There's not there's not much satisfaction that golf brings me. And I think, yeah, I think where I am right now and where I'm trying to continue to work towards is a good place. And I'm working a lot in my golf game, but I'm also just trying to remember that, golf isn't who I am. And um, I'm a lot happier when it's just what I do. And when I really believe that, because it's hard. I can sit here and I can tell you guys that golf isn't who I am, but there are definitely times on the road where, it's pretty lonely, and it becomes who you are. So, yeah, I think that like I said, I listen to a lot of press conferences and I learn a lot from guys, but Scotty and what he says about his life off the course is really inspiring, and kind of makes me remember what my grandpa told me when I was growing up.
Well, Mike, do you have anything else before we let him get
No, we
get
better let
back
him
and
get. We
get
better
some
let
good
him get.
sleep?
We better let him get ready to roll this week here.
What is the
Yeah,
golf?
thanks for having me on.
What's the golf course that you're playing? What is it called?
We're playing Lakewood National, and it's in awesome shape.
Lakewood
Lakewood
National. So you
National.
got some good vibes.
Yeah,
Got some
it's
good
great.
sight lines. Got some good sight lines off the tee.
Yeah, I've only played 9, but so far I really like the golf course. Really like the areas around the green, and the greens are rolling really quick. So I'm pumped to play this week.
Well, we
Sweet.
got to thank you for your time, but you give our listeners something to root for as you pursue your dreams. Hopefully down the road, maybe someday we'll see you on TV putting on that green jacket. So
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it, and hopefully I can come back on again sometime down the
heck
road.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
we would
We'd
love
have
you.
you for sure.
And if you're ever in Minnesota for any sort of event, or maybe you make it give us a shout out.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
come
absolutely.
support you. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks again.
Yep. Take care, Cooper.
Yep. Thanks.
All right. See you guys.